Welcome to Totally Abstracted. I'm Michelle, and in today's episode I want to talk about something a little different, something that's been bubbling under the surface and lately has felt impossible to ignore. If you follow me on Instagram or YouTube, you might have seen a raw, fragmented portrait that I shared this week, completely different from my usual soft, atmospheric landscapes. And I thought I'd talk a bit about why I sometimes feel a pull to create abstract, expressive portraits, and how, strangely, they sit alongside my landscapes in how I process emotion and experience. But first, let's rewind. When I first started painting seriously, I thought I had to choose a lane. I believed being an artist meant locking in a style and sticking to it. Landscapes became my safe space. They felt natural, familiar. I understood them. There's something deeply satisfying about capturing the shimmer of light on water, or the way mist clings to hills. Every time I picked up my palette knife or catalyst wedge, it felt like coming home. And it still does. But maybe about 18 months or so ago, things began to slightly shift. I watched a documentary on Francis Bacon, then one on Maggie Hamlin, and then I found myself drawn into Jenny Savile's work. Then I had John Seed's book, Disrupted Realism, for Christmas. I think I watched also the Christian Hook series from Portrait Artist of the Year. One thing led to another, and suddenly I was on fire with the need to explore expressive portraiture. So between December 2023 and March 2024, if you scroll back through my Instagram, you'll see it. Nothing but people. I took a complete break from abstract landscapes and dove into something entirely new. Now, my landscapes are often soft, dreamy, spacious. There's movement and texture, but they hold a certain quiet, like a breath, like prayer. They offer refuge. When I paint a storm clearing or a misty morning, I'm usually not just depicting a place, I'm capturing a feeling of peace. But the portraits, they come from somewhere raw. There's a kind of urgency to them, something direct, sometimes even brutal. When I paint a face, maybe smeared, fractured, eyes closed, turned away, I'm not aiming for likeness. I'm letting emotions speak, not just echo. These aren't moods, they're moments. It's the crack, the collapse, the trying to hold it together when everything feels like it's unravelling. And what I've realised is I need both. There are days when landscapes are exactly what I need, when the world feels too loud and I want to return to the land and to quiet. But there are other days when I wake at 2 a.m. with my mind racing, when my chest feels heavy and I can't settle. On those days, painting a serene horizon feels dishonest, like I'm skimming over what I'm actually feeling. That's when I turn to portraits, not to get it right, but to get it out. And I don't mean polished portraits for the living room wall. These faces are emotional containers, glimpses of inner weather, sometimes angry, sometimes dissolving, sometimes exhausted in a way that goes deeper than sleep. Lately I've started to think of them as self-portraits, not of my face, but of my feeling, the parts of me the landscapes can't quite hold. And here's the surprising part, when I return to landscapes afterwards, they feel deeper. It's as if the portraits clear something, made space. The rawness gives room for the gentleness to breathe again. So for me, the two practices aren't separate, they're in relationship. My landscapes give me peace, my portraits give me truth. And when I honour both, I feel more connected to my full creative voice, not just the parts that are easy to share or explain. I've been thinking about this a lot as I prepare for a competition. How do you present work that comes from such different emotional places? How do you explain that the same person who paints luminous, ethereal landscapes also needs to paint fractured faces falling apart? But maybe that's the truth. Maybe the contradiction is the point. I don't know if you feel this too, that pull toward different modes of expression. Maybe you move between media or moods. Maybe you write poetry and build furniture, garden and play loud music, practice yoga and go for high energy runs. If so, I want to say this. It's okay to be many things. You don't have to pick one. You don't have to make perfect sense. You can be soft and fierce, atmospheric and messy, landscape and portrait, gentle and raw. It's all part of the same thread, the thread of being human, of feeling deeply, of needing more than one way to hold what it means to be alive. And maybe that's what makes the work richer, not despite the contradictions, but because of them. I'm still figuring it all out, still learning to trust both sides of my voice. Some days I worry painting something different will confuse people, but then I remember art isn't meant to make everyone comfortable. It's meant to be true. And this feels true to me right now. Thank you for being here and for letting me think through all of this out loud. If you haven't seen the portrait I mentioned, it's up now on YouTube. I'll pop the link in the show notes too. It's not polished. It's not perfect. I had to finish it off camera because there was so much I needed to change. But it is honest. And that matters to me more than anything. If any of this resonates, I'd love to hear from you. Do you work across different styles or mediums? Do you ever feel torn between different parts of your creative self? Come say hi on Instagram or leave a comment. Your stories help me see my own work more clearly too. Until next time, honour what's real for you. Let your art speak from the soul. And as always, stay totally abstracted.